Imagine dying and then the guy who refused to marry you does all this. Oh God, she was the love of my life. I should have married that girl. Come on. First of all, this is what Diane Keaton looked at like 2 years ago. Okay? This was in 2023. And this guy thinks that they were in the same league. And that, oh, I'm sorry, but I am so glad that she died single. Like, the way that the coverage of her is like almost sad that she never got married. Nobody would marry her. Okay, let's look at that quote. Yeah, okay. She said nobody ever asked. However, I'm sorry, she didn't seem to put dating as a big priority on her list, okay? She probably could have gotten married if she really cared enough, okay? Do you know how many homosexuals out there would have loved all that money? Like, to me, the real story is she, you know what? She dated Woody Allen. That would make you not want to date anybody, maybe. Although she defended him until her death, which I did a whole video about that yesterday. And he also, just like this guy, is going to make her death all about him and my friend. Let rebrand me. Come on, let me make some movies now. Remember? She went to bat for me. Remember? Anyway. So she dated Warren Beatty, I guess, and Woody Allen, and this guy. This guy who had a child at 83 years old that expired baby gravy or whatever. Like, thankfully, this woman has moved on from him. But this guy, she's, 53 years younger than him, and he had a baby. I hope that baby's okay, because we know that it's actually men who are causing so many of these problems. When women, like, that, y'all think you can just keep having them as long as you, okay. Why is she having all those miscarriages and all these problems? It's because of your sperm is nasty. You got a geriatric pregnancy for women having kids at, what, 37 or 38? What do you call these? Geriatric sperm. I think that he regrets not being with her because he's an old man, and as far as I know, he's not dating anybody. And we know there's enough desperate women out there who will be a hospice wife. I want to give credit to this. I saw this this on Threads. Fuckboys will literally wait until you die before they want to propose. This is my favorite take. So don't believe all these sappy little stories of like, like we should, like they dated for a really long time and he was never ready. Like, look at this. Like, all these stories just keep framing, oh, Pacino's one great big reveal. One big regret revealed after the ex Diane Keaton's death. She was the love of his life. I don't ever believe them when they say you were the love of their life. That's so full of crap. Why didn't you do anything, bro? You didn't marry her? Y'all lived near each other, apparently, in Beverly. You could have, God! Just look at this. They started dating in 1974. That is 3 years before I was born. Okay? It's a long time ago. They called it quits in 1990. So they basically were dating, my understanding is mostly on and off all through the 80s. That's 10 years, bro. But they started even before that. 74? Like, I heard they dated during the 80s. But this is saying they started in 1974. That is, I don't know, math, 16 years? Like, what happened? Why didn't you weren't ready? Now, all this is coming from a source for the Daily Mail. So, whatever, a friend. So, I don't even know if this is true. I'm only talking, I don't care about this. I don't care about Al Pacino. I don't care about whatever. I'm just saying this is what... Like, the way that they frame all of this is like, like this is some sort of like romantic, oh, no! Like, they just let this woman die happily as a single woman, okay? I love that for her. She was a single woman who died single. and seems to have chosen to be single. She tried to date people. She tried a lot of stuff, but she would have gotten, do you know how easy it is for women who really want to get married to get married? The easy thing to do is to get married, okay? If you have no standards but all that money, there's probably millions of men who would have loved to marry. She could have gotten married. She either had very high standards, which I'm not so sure, really, Alan, but or just wasn't interested. And she seems to say so herself. I'll get to that in a second. And yet this guy is making this. He's the love of her life, right? These two are not in the same category. Okay, I'm sorry. He did not age well compared to her. She aged very well. Why do you think that is? Single. Okay, she died from being sick. She actually had a lot of, she was, for a while, she had some sort of skin cancer that ran in her family. She's been sick and stuff, but she looked great. Why do you think that is? Besides all the money and Hollywood and all that stuff. Men age you. Imagine how he looks now if he'd been dating her. He would probably look amazing and she would have looked like crap. Men age you. This is the quote from the friend. And again, I don't even care if this is true or not. This is absolutely how men think. Okay, look at this. The friend said, I know he will forever regret he didn't make his move when he had the chance. Oh, all those 16 years? A friend of the legendary actor told the outlet. For years after he and Diane split, Al used to say, if it's meant to be, it's never too late for a do-over. But sadly now it is. It's never too late. But it's too late. It's too late. Men think that they just have endless time, that they can, and they do for women who have zero standards. But the way they approach it, they just think, God, they're like, I just have kids whenever. When I'm 83 even. Which is so selfish. When I talked about that story when it came out 2 years ago. I was like, what the hell is this old man? 83. My dad didn't even make it to his 80s. Right? Yeah, I forget. Yeah, he acted like he was 90 something. 83 is pretty old, okay? And he's like, I think I'll have a kid. So that kid will never know me because I could die any day. And when I made that video, so many people in the comments were like, yeah, my dad had me when he was 60 something. Thanks. It doesn't seem to end up well when men are like, I'm just going to keep putting it off forever and ever and ever because I can. God. This is what the source also said. Looking back, Al admits the love of his life was Diane, who he always called an amazing woman. The source also said that Keaton and Pacino never spoke, despite having both lived near one another in Beverly Hills. I once asked him why, and he told me there's no need to talk with each other. We said everything that needed to be said at the time. Okay, but she's the love of your life and you regret not marrying her? What are you doing? You just sat on your ass for decades? But man, you know what? He's just going to wait until she's dead to be like, I love, it's never too late. Oh my God. Men's sense of time is fascinating. When you have that much privilege and just have the world doing women doing all this free labor for you all the time and just don't have to think about consequences the way that women do, this is what you get. She actually said in the end it was good they didn't wed. She was waiting, holding out. I think she even set an ultimatum, and no, he just wasn't ready. But look at this. I didn't even want him to propose. Oh my God. See, Diane, you had very low standards. I'm glad you kind of stopped dating more or less, or just wouldn't mess with most men. Because look at this. I didn't even want him to propose. I just thought maybe he would marry me eventually. I thought, don't even propose. Let's just do it. But that never happened. And that is a blessing for both of us. It would have been a nightmare for him. Okay, Diane. Oh my God. See, her standing up for Woody makes so much more sense the more I hear from her, in terms of she really had low self-esteem. First of all, it's inexcusable to stand up for Woody against his own daughter for all the stuff that he's done. But anyway, I already did that video. But the way that she talks about herself, she had really pretty low self-esteem. And I honestly think her just staying single is literally why she kept thriving because it seems like she had a weakness with men, and they brought out the worst in her and made her nothing but insecure. She said that they ultimately were a good match. We're very eccentric. He needed a woman that was going to take care of him. I need a man to take care of me. It was just very important that we left each other alone and said goodbye, but it wasn't my choice. Okay, so it seems like, honestly, rejection is protection, okay? I have lived by that for a really long time, and it helped me not chase after losers. I certainly used to do that. Rejection is protection. If you don't want me, I don't want you, right? That's how it should be. If you don't want me, I don't want you. But so many of us want people who don't want us because that'll heal some sort of stuff from our parents or whatever. Never works out good. So, it seems like she made peace with the fact that, yeah, they would have not been a great couple, okay? So don't let any of these she's lived my life, we shouldn't. No, they would not have been good together. She also seemed to have low self-esteem in certain ways. I learned that if you want me to do a whole separate video on her, what are you moaning about? Such a hard life. She had, she said she wore her bangs to hide her face. She wore a lot of these baggy clothes to hide herself. She was an eccentric, weird, funny person who also had serious confidence issues. That's the best type of person to stay single, because when you date someone from that place, you end up losing all your money, losing all your confidence if you had any, losing your life even. If you're a woman who dates like that, that's what happens to you. You lose. It can be deadly. So I'm glad that no one ever asked. I keep seeing that quote. But I promise you, if she really wanted to be married, she would have been married. Okay? It is too easy for women, especially women with money. So she clearly wasn't interested in dating that much. No one was asking her out. Did she really want to get asked out? Because I promise you, I hate the way it's being framed. As if it's this sad thing that, she just, poor single woman until the day she died. Literally, so many women would love to be out of the relationships with the men that are aging them and exhausting them and giving them autoimmune diseases or whatever. She previously admitted that she'd been head over heels in love with Pacino and developed a crush on him when they were shooting The Godfather. I was mad for him. Charming, hilarious, a nonstop talker. Well, that doesn't sound great. Charming, hilarious. Okay, charming. Usually, a lot of times, charming men are nonstop talker. That may be all fun when you're dating, but have one of them in your house. There was an aspect of him that was like a lost orphan. I am so glad he did not marry you. This does not make him sound like a lost orphan, like this kind of crazy idiot savant. And gorgeous. Okay, so he was charming and hot. Everything else about him was so she would have totally been his mom. So yeah, anyway, she never married, but she did adopt kids. Apparently she wanted to be a mom. You know what? She didn't wait for some dude to do it. Good for her. Now, I'm not saying I condone the adoption industry, because I know hearing from former adoptees and stuff sounds like a very traumatizing experience for a lot of children. Not always, but anyway. But I'm glad she didn't get baby trapped by this dude. He waited to, he had some kids. He had several baby mamas. We had Beverly D'Angelo. Who else? And then when he's 83, he has another child with a woman he's not married to. They're friends now. They're not even dating. So yeah, he just waited. And this is a classic example of men thinking that they can just wait until they're 50 or 60 to get serious. They're just going to be playboys forever. If you're rich and famous, you can get away with it. But so many men live like this who are bums and have no career. It's fascinating. In this article, she says, when talking about just her dating life and stuff. So in this one, she said that she being glad that she never married, saying, I'm not sad because I think that I needed more of a maternal aspect. I don't think it would have been a good idea for me to have been married. I'm really glad I didn't. I'm sure they're happy about it too. This is talking about like having kids without being married. Her stance on marriage dates back to her teenage years. I remember one day in high school, this guy came up to me and said, "One day you're going to make a good wife." And she recalled, and I thought, I don't want to be a wife now. So, even though she was in love with Al Pacino and was head over heels with him and everything and like wanted him to ask, she seems to have stuck with this mentality for most of the time. Again, this was who she also was with. She never married any of these guys. And she rode hard for him until she died. Even, went against his own daughter being, I believe money. He's my friend. Keaton pushed for marriage, but he wouldn't commit. Imagine 16 years and you just still can't commit. But he'll have kids, because that's not a commitment. Years later, they remained friends and publicly supported each other. Although my understanding is, he said, "You're a great artist. I love you forever." But my understanding from everything I've seen, they haven't seen each other since like 2017. So the love of my life lives down the road. I should have married that girl, but don't talk to her for 8 years before her death. So, neither one of them ever married, I guess. So these are all of his partners. She's not even listed there, which is interesting. Why is she not even listed? And by the way, the woman that who was with for a while, who had his last child with, the woman 53 years younger than him, they met because she lived down the street from him and they started playing chess and watching movies. It was like film school with Al Pacino. I guess it just became something more. The guy didn't seem to put much effort into his relationship. She seems to have a thing for old men, though, because she dated this dude, who also has a history of dating, teenagers, I think? She dated him when he was 74 and she was 22. And then, this is the funniest headline. Al Pacino confirms he's single after his ex is spotted with Bill Maher. Anyway, back to Diane. When she was asked about dating in her later years, she insisted that she's happier being single. "I don't date," she told the AARP magazine, adding it was highly unlikely she would pursue another relationship. "I don't remember anyone calling me going, 'This is so-and-so, I'd like to take you out.' They don't happen. Of course not." So either A, she's just not all that interested and not even like whatever, but also maybe she has some standards. And maybe the guys are all like Al, who are like, "Hey, you live down the street, you want to watch a movie and go to Al's Pacino film school?" But not actually ask you out? Like, I don't know, whatever. All I know is these old men, they will either A, marry you for all your money. Let me know if you want me to cover this story. This dude just released, Gary! He just released a book, a memoir. Talking smack about her, by the way. He didn't even like her. He just felt he married her because he felt. That's what he says. Money. She have money. Ooh, I remember that. I covered this 2 years ago. These old men, they are looking for a hospice wife because this guy, he is engaged now. It is fascinating. I can't believe how many women still date men who are that old. This guy he has cancer and she's like, "I know, I'll marry you. Let me take care of you." If more women would deal with our codependency and our patriarchal indoctrination and realize that taking care of a man is not what we were supposed to do. It's not what we're supposed to do. It's not what we're supposed to do. They pay people to take care of men, drop them off at the nursing home. They got no friends anyway. They usually don't have relationships with their kids. And they can't with one of them because it's a baby. They have an 83. But don't do all this. Don't go looking for love when you're old. Because these men are just looking for a hospice wife, a nurse and a purse. And then they will humiliate you and try to take all your money and then dump you anyway. If you won't quit your job to take care of them and just give them money. But a lot of people are having a hard time with Diane's death. She's, like all people, is a very complicated human being. Like I said, a lot of people are mad at her for the way she dealt with Woody, gave him validity, which I talked about yesterday. Probably one of the reasons why she remained iconic and had a great career is that she didn't date, despite her style being this, when really a lot of it was, even though it was cool style, a lot of it was hiding some of her insecurities. So either way, yeah, she never received a marriage proposal. That is not the story, okay? Don't believe this narrative, okay? Women who die alone are choosing to die alone. Now, some of our grandmas and whatever, like, keep looking for men, but I promise you, there's always a younger man who would love to be with an older woman to take her money. Women can easily get married, okay? It is so easy for women to get married. Marrying a good man who treats you well, loves you, is like a grown-ass adult who doesn't make you, like, do all this crap for him, whatever, doesn't beat you, doesn't do all that stuff. Now, that's hard. But getting married is easy. God, good for her for not settling. Good for her. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. This is not a deep dive on Diane. I don't know her all that well. I've been watching her work since I was a kid. I want to watch, maybe Baby Boom. I'll watch that at my watch party. By the way, I have a Patreon is where I do all my personal stories, watch parties, hangouts, lives. I interview people, tell my personal stories, travel content. And I've been thinking of watching Baby Boom over there for my next watch party. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, share, boost if you can or want to. And let me know if you heard the comment song. Now that you're dead, I think I'm ready to marry you. Now that you're dead, after 16 years of dating. Now that you're dead, I'm finally grown up. I'm the big boss and an old man. Now that you're dead, I'm ready to marry you. Look at me, I got so much to offer. Now that you're dead, now that you're dead, I got so much to offer because I just couldn't commit then. But now that you're dead, I'm jizzing in my pants. Oh, biggest regret, I didn't marry you, even though you're out of my league. Look at these bitches. This is 2 years ago. Now that you're dead, I regret I didn't marry you. I'm just a catch. I live down the street. And now I got a kid at 53, your younger girlfriend for a while, and then that didn't work out. But I'm a dad at 83, now that you're dead, I got so much to offer. Diane, come and get me. Oh, damn, you're in a coffin. Well, not even yet, but I'm gonna tell the world I miss you and I wish you weren't dead. I need a wife to caress with these nasty hands. Walking down that you're dead. I'm like Gary. Oh, I want a wife to humiliate on TV and take her money because I'm a janitor. But now that you're dead, I got no one to take care of me like Gary. But I'm a catch now that you're dead. Diane, I want you so bad. But she's like, no, I'm good. Thanks very much. I died single and alone, and that's why I look so good.